Okay, Silence of the Lambs, one of the most memorable movies of its decade. Let's look at this scene where Agent Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster, meets the infamous Hannibal Lecter, played by Sir Anthony Hopkins. So the thing that stands out right away is the name, Hannibal, named after the ancient military leader Hannibal, who won battles through cunning tactics and strategy. So to those who know their history, they get a small indication of what type of person Hannibal Lecter might be. The job of any writer is to make their characters likable, whether it's a character you root for or one you simply love to hate. Either way, the goal is to write a character that gets under your skin. The wonderful thing about Silence of the Lambs is Lecter and Clarice are polar opposites in most ways, yet somehow their personalities, their idiosyncrasies, each somehow complement the others. Lecter was a psychiatrist, so his inclination to ask probing questions aligns relatively well with Agent Starling's appreciation of detail, clarity, the value of knowing personal history. She knows what's being asked when a question is posed to her, so when she answers, it's probably satisfying for Lecter to finally talk with a person who understands the significance of his questions and obliges. There's an interesting dynamic between Clarice and Lecter. Would this on-screen duo work as well if Agent Starling were more domineering? Would the characters have had the same impact? In their scenes together, Lecter is constantly putting Clarice in the spotlight in an effort to push her to her limits, and in this scene, although the actors would have practiced these lines together many times over, Hopkins makes a decision here to mock Jodie Foster's Southern accent, which throws her off guard. So you have to wonder how many of these subtle facial expressions are genuine. This brings me to the next reason this scene works so well. In terms of dialogue, there are certainly other exchanges between Lecter and Clarice that have more tension and deeper senses of urgency. But here, in their first scene together, Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster give really amazing performances where the subtleties of their facial expressions communicate volumes about each character without spelling it out in dialogue. This is something that every acting student should study because this movie is filled with so many scenes where, although the situation is outrageous, totally unbelievable, the actors are not overacting. These subtle little micro movements within their facial expressions give the entire movie a sense of verisimilitude because it feels like a natural reaction, not a theatrical reaction. So it's easier to get sucked in and believe for a moment that these things are actually happening. The nature of Lecter and Clarice's interactions mimic the structure of a doctor-patient therapy session. Lecter asks personal and open-ended questions, and this sort of Socratic method of guiding Agent Starling down a path of self-analysis is meant to make her a better detective, so she learns to see past surface facts and see deeper meaning in people's actions. All in all, I can see why this movie stands the test of time. If you have your own insights or favorite scenes, let's hear them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.